Welcome to F260, week 15, 1 Samuel 13 and 14, entitled The Discipline of the Lord. The highlight verse is 1 Samuel 13, verse 14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. Explaining this, a great battle was looming with the Philistines, and the prophet Samuel had instructed King Saul to wait for him to come. As a priest of God, he would offer a sacrifice on their behalf. Samuel was late, and Saul took it upon himself to offer the sacrifice. However, only priests were authorized to offer sacrifices. And Saul incurred the displeasure of God by his eventual removal as king and his replacement by David. Applying this, God's discipline for Israelites in the Old Testament was written as an example and a warning to we New Testament believers to not do as they did. 1 Corinthians 10, 1-7. The discipline of God teaches us obedience. Its purpose is to bring greater dependency upon Him. If our hearts depart, we are no longer being obedient to God. It is called backsliding. And that is where I found myself about 10 years after I had given my heart to the Lord. The writer of Hebrews says in Hebrews 2:1, we must give the more earnest heed to the things that we have heard, lest we drift away. And that is what happened to me. I had gradually drifted away from the ways of God and back to the ways of the world. A good illustration of how that happens is the story about a pleasure boat aboard which people were having a good old time, drinking, gambling, and partying. Their boat, which had been tied up to the dock, had slipped its moorings and began to drift in the current. The current was slow, the drifting was imperceptible, and not until they heard the roar of the waterfalls did they realize what had happened, but it was too late. Their boat went over the falls, and they all perished. And just as imperceptibly as that boat had drifted from the dock, I had imperceptibly drifted from the ways of God and back into the ways of the world. The Lord had blessed me with a successful insurance business and a very decent income. I was making money hand over fist, and I was also drinking like a fish, and my wife and I were fighting like cats and dogs. I became a candidate for the discipline of the Lord, and the Lord did discipline me. I lost my business and ended up with a job earning about half of what my former income had been. My response, the Lord gave me a wake-up call, and thank God I woke up. I quit drinking, got right with God again, and the Lord revived my marriage, restored my business, and called me into prison ministry, which has been a great blessing of my life. God bless.